You know that feeling when spring finally arrives? There's just this energy in the air, a sense of new beginnings. Well, today we're diving into a festival that's all about harnessing that exact feeling for a deep, personal journey of transformation. We're talking about Chaitri Navaratri. I mean, you just have to look outside, right? The trees are blooming, the world's waking up after a long winter. It's this beautiful, powerful metaphor. It's nature literally showing us that no matter how dormant things might feel, a fresh start is always possible. So that begs the question, doesn't it? What if we could actually tap into that energy of rebirth, but for our own minds and spirits? What if there was some kind of roadmap to guide us? Well, that roadmap is exactly what Chaitri Navaratri is. It's celebrated during the Hindu month of Chaitra. That's around March or April, and for many parts of India, it lines up perfectly with the Hindu New Year. It is the ideal time for a spiritual reset. And the name itself tells you a lot. Nava means 9, and Ratri means nights. So we're talking about 9 sacred nights set aside for worshiping Goddess Durga and her 9 incredible forms, and really for doing some profound inner work. So this number 9 is absolutely central. Each night is dedicated to a different form of the goddess, and each form represents a specific virtue that we can actually cultivate in ourselves. It's not just 9 random dates. It's a structured path. It's one single unified journey of personal growth. At its very heart, this festival is about a theme that, let's be honest, resonates with every single one of us. It's about the battles we fight, not just out in the world, but inside our own heads. It's about this powerful idea that with dedication, our better nature will always win out. Okay, so how does this whole journey actually work? Well, it's guided by the Navadurga, the 9 forms of Goddess Durga. And here's the key thing to remember. These aren't just deities to worship from afar. Think of them as personifications of divine strengths that are already inside each of us, just waiting to be awakened. All right, take a look at this. This is basically our roadmap for the 9 nights. Each night, we focus on a specific form of the goddess and the virtue she embodies. And you can see a real progression here, right? We start with foundational stuff like strength and purity, then we move into virtues of action like creativity and compassion, and finally, we climb towards these transcendent states like fearlessness and ultimately wisdom. This is the path. Now, to make this whole path a little easier to digest, we can actually group these 9 virtues into 3 distinct stages of inner growth. Let's break down how this journey builds on itself, starting from the ground up. So the first 3 nights are all about building a solid base. We kick things off with Shailaputri, focusing on our inner strength and having pure intentions. Then we move to Brahmacharini, who is all about devotion and discipline, things you build through practices like meditation or even fasting. And then we have Chandraganta, who inspires that courage and grace to face whatever comes our way with a calm, steady heart. Okay, once we've got that solid foundation, we move into the next phase, cultivation. Kushmanda is like the creative spark of the universe, encouraging us to innovate and bring new things into the world. Then, Skandamata teaches us to channel that energy outward through compassion, seeing ourselves as caretakers. And finally, Katyani gives us the strength to act with righteous power, to use our abilities for the good of everyone, not just ourselves. And the final stage, transcendence. This is where things get really deep. It starts with Calebration, a fierce form who helps us face and completely destroy our deepest fears and all that negativity. She literally clears the way. After that intense cleanup, Mahagauri arrives, bringing a profound sense of peace and clarity. And the whole journey culminates with Siddhidatri, who grants wisdom and spiritual fulfillment. This is the ultimate goal. So this is all really beautiful and profound, right? But the big question is, what does this ancient wisdom actually mean for us, here and now, in our super busy modern lives? Let's bring it all home. And that really brings us to one of the most powerful ideas of the whole festival. The biggest battles we fight aren't with other people. They're internal. It's all about getting our own ego in check and letting our better qualities, our virtues, lead the way. So if you wanted to walk this path yourself, what would it look like? Well, it kind of boils down to 3 key things. First, cultivate discipline. Real strength comes from being consistent. Second, make it your goal to overcome your ego. Aim for a win for virtue, not a win for me. And third, you have to truly, deeply embrace the idea that renewal is always an option. And this brings us full circle, right back to that message of hope. Nature shows us every single year. No matter how long the winter feels, spring always comes back. This festival is a spiritual promise of that same truth for our own lives. light will always return. All right, as we start to wrap things up, let's bring all this amazing wisdom back to where it matters most, you. Because if there's one thing to take away from Chaitri Navaratri, it's this. It's incredibly empowering. The whole idea is that these amazing qualities, strength, compassion, courage, wisdom, they're not out there somewhere. They are already inside you, right now, just waiting for you to awaken them. So here's my final thought for you. As the world around you is waking up, as you feel that new energy in the air, take a moment and ask yourself this. What part of you is ready for its own spring? What will you choose to renew?